thumbnails, description box, uh title descriptions. Like I've been looking at all that stuff. So y'all, we're live. I am about to answer if I feel like live streams have been working because I've been going live on TikTok and on YouTube simultaneously for the past 17 days. And so I'm about to talk about like what it's been like, if it's working. Thank you. I'm glad to be setting an example, a positive example. Um, and I'm gonna let y'all know what's up and what I've been noticing about it. So let me say this. I definitely think that if you have not already started going live on YouTube, or if, well, live in general, live streaming in general, I really do think that is still like an untapped market when it comes to content creation. And there are some ideas that I have about why that is, and I'll talk about that too. But one thing that I can say about going live is that it has made it easy for me to be consistent, especially with YouTube, because YouTube was a platform that I just feel like it's like boss level for like every content creator. And it's so funny because it doesn't matter whether it's I've been seeing content creators who maybe have like, around 1,000, 10,000 followers on TikTok, um having the same concerns and challenges as creators on YouTube or Instagram that have 200, 300,000 subscribers, right? Like the number doesn't seem to be the issue. It is more of like the perception, and just the challenges that people have had with YouTube who may have started there first. And so I'm like one of those people where YouTube was my very first platform. Um, hmm, Actually, yeah, it was literally my first platform outside of like Bebo. Y'all remember Bebo? Who else used Bebo? Because I talked about this somewhere, and there were people who had never heard of Bebo before, but I just need to know that there are other people who knew that it existed, because I loved Bebo. I loved Habbo Hotel. Anybody like Habbo Hotel? It was, and I had those. Of course I had MySpace. Um yeah, I actually, y'all, like for real, like in real life, if I ever tell you that I'm burnt out from social media, it is because I have been using it since I was like 12. I've been using social media for 20 years, 20 plus years. That's crazy when you think about it, cuz I didn't even think about what it could be at that time. Like it was legit, like we were just doing it to have fun. Hey Deanna, like we were just doing it to have fun. And now look at us, like starting businesses, getting brand deals, like getting numbers. It's wild. Like I never would have imagined in middle school that this would have been something that would become what it is today. So it's wild. It's wild. And so hey Bertha. So yeah, YouTube was the first platform where I was really, I guess, like really trying to be a content creator and not just using it for fun. Like again, because like the other platforms I talked about, we were just on there because we wanted to make friends. We wanted to express ourselves. It was exciting. It was new. It was fun. So it wasn't what it is now for a lot of us. And so yeah, I just feel like it's a different beast when that is your goal. And I think that a part of the problem too is that I because we're focusing more on trying to make it work for us than we are on just having fun and creating because we enjoy it and we enjoy what we're creating, and we are passionate about what we're doing. There is a there are there's more opportunities for us to like create like obstacles and challenges for ourselves. I, there's a one other way I wanted to say that, but that's the best way it's coming out right now. Social media is burnout for real. We were coding for fun. Yeah, we were like we were coding for fun. Hey, Palm. So like it's just a different, hey Belvy, if I didn't say hi to you already. And so it's just it's a different world now. And it is hard to even balance between like doing what I enjoy like with social media, and balancing that with doing what I know works. And so just like another, this is like a small detour. It's still in the same vein of social media though. But did y'all hear that Instagram is removing hashtags? Did y'all hear about that? Someone was talking about it and she was like, "Y'all, I am an auntie and I don't know how to navigate Instagram without hashtags." And so that the fact that yeah, Instagram is taking away hashtags, y'all. Hashtags are about to be a thing of the past. That's wild. It's not hashtags. What is it? Because the person said it was hashtags. It was I didn't look into it, so don't quote me on that. I'm gonna look into it more. I wasn't in the mood to look into it any further. That's just what I heard. Yeah, it is. Yeah, Instagram is kind of a, they're removing the hashtags that you follow. Oh, so like it's changing what your for like what your, what is it called on Instagram? What your feed looks like. Hey, big sis. What's happening over there? Okay, then I have to look into it, y'all. So that's what I heard. So I heard hashtags. Palm is saying that it's just the hashtags that you follow. So I'll look into it more, so I'm not just spreading misinformation. Oh, explore page. Yeah, girl, I don't know. I forgot all these different names. Everything is a for you page now, even though I know every platform has its own name for what your home page is, whatever it's called, whatever it's called. So, uh, anyway, like I was saying, so much is changing, and there is hard to balance the love for it and the creation for the sake of like this is what I want to create and put out in the world, and then balancing that with the things that you're supposed to do when it comes to marketing, and when it comes to just like the algorithms and everything that we have to take into account when we're now no longer just doing this for fun, but we're doing it for business. So all of that to say that YouTube in particular definitely was like boss level status for me. So what I've been noticing as I've been going live and I've been doing this is that um the past 30 days I have gained, the last time I looked it was 36 new subscribers. Okay. So and that's over the past 30 days. But I know the bulk of it came from the last 17 days specifically. So in 17 days I got 36 subscribers. And as opposed to what it was looking like, what it was trending like the past few months. I mean, honestly, you could pick a month, any month really is about the same. There's only been a few times where I think the most that I've seen in terms of like subscriber growth in a 30-minute time period, 30-day time frame was 28. So I've already surpassed my highest number by being particular. Hey, Adrian, by being particular and doing this challenge. So that's one thing that I can say off top. If you were even considering going live and using that as a tool to grow and to build community, that's definitely one of them. Another metric that has been very interesting, and this is important for YouTube in particular, is that my watch time is at 100 hours. Oh, you subscribed, and thank you. Thank you for subscribing. Yeah, I'm up to 100, like 111, 110, 111 watch hours. And the most watch hours I've had in a month. I mean, I don't even think that they've passed about 25. So 110 for me in the past 17 days is phenomenal. And I do believe that a part of that is because of the people that come in and they sit and they listen to the entire stream. So people like Adrian, I think you were like one of the top in terms of like watch time. And my lives have at least been an hour, like the past 17 days, like all the lives have been at least an hour. And then when people go back and they watch them again because they knew I was talking about the brand personalities. So going back and listening to it and, taking it in, taking those notes, that also has improved my watch time as well. And all I have to do is, set my camera up, set my phone up, and then start talking. And so, oh, that's so good, Adrian. She says, I've been studying and implementing. I really cannot wait to hear how it works out for you. The brand identity lives are really helping me with what I do. Are they really, Ed? Oh, that's so cool. What's your brand personality? Which one are you identifying with the most? That's something that I would love to hear from y'all. What from what you've watched, and if you watch them all, then you probably have your all three of yours down packed. But what have which personalities have you been resonating with the most? Thank you, Steph. Yeah, I definitely a creator and a hero. Ooh. Okay, so we definitely connect on the creator tip because creator is me all the way. I'll talk about this in a second, y'all, but I was listening to a podcast earlier today, which inspired the name of the live stream today. And so I'll get into that. But yeah, I'm definitely a creator. And I think I told y'all that I am the creator, but within the creator, I also really resonate deeply with the visionary. And so and then it was like further solidified when I was listening to this podcast earlier today. So it's just like hearing how another person exhibits like the traits that you exhibit, but they do it in their own way, but you can connect to it and relate to it. Is something really cool about that because like you can still see yourself in them, even though they have like, different life experiences and, cultural backgrounds, ethnic backgrounds, whatever makes them different than you. They have those different things, but you can still connect and relate to them in certain ways. Yeah. You gonna check them all out? Yeah, definitely. And then let me know. I would love to see what yours are, Stephanie. I would really love it. I'm wondering if you would resonate with the hero. I feel like I see some hero in you. But yeah, you let me know. You let me know which one resonates. So but I've been seeing, so my subscribers, I've gained the most subscribers in the time period than I have in my entire career as a YouTuber. Aside from a few years ago, I had a video that went viral um on YouTube, and that was like the first time I've ever experienced that because my views on YouTube are they don't be high. So when I got that ended up kicking up my subscribers by like a couple hundred. But outside of virality, this is the time period where I've seen the most consistent growth every day, as opposed to it just happening in like spurts of time. And then the other thing, y'all, and I've said this before, but if you didn't hear me say it before, I'm gonna say it again. One of the biggest benefits that I have seen from doing this challenge and going live is that I've been able to get out content ideas that I've been sitting on for months. And if there is any other benefit to it for you, if there's any other um if there's any other like yeah, benefit. I was gonna say another word, but if there's any other benefit for you giving it a try and seeing how live stream can work for you, it will be for you to have a space to talk and get the ideas that you have in your head out into content, because that has been one of the biggest frustrations for me as a creator, is feeling like I have all of these dope ideas, and maybe they're not good ideas. You know, sometimes they're not the best ones, but I made it and I put it out. And even if it's not the best idea, I can still learn from it. I can still get something out of it. And there's so much to say from you. Let's say you have an idea video, like I will use the brand personalities, for example, because the brand personalities was an idea that I said I was going to do for months. And I was sitting on talking about brand personalities, and I finally had a moment where I was like talking on one of the lives, and I said, you know what, I should talk about the brand personalities, and it literally became like a whole thing. And just imagine, what could have happened if I had done this, months ago. Like, the fact that I did it, I'm just grateful that it happened. But just giving you some perspective, like there is, how many other ideas do I just have sitting up here that if I just sat down somewhere and talked about it and then, expressed it, what that would do, like what that sentiment would do. And so that has been the biggest benefit, because I'm just able to talk and express it and get the idea out. And one thing that I have been enjoying more, and I talked about this a lot more in depth in the video where I talked about my predictions for content creation for 2025. And if you were here when I talked about the sage, then it was the segment that I talked about at the beginning of the sage. And I was saying what I was talking about, using Substack. I was talking about long form content making a comeback. So if y'all missed that, make sure you go back and watch that video. It's a shorter video. It's about 20 minutes, and I'm talking about the my ideas. Like I gave like an idea overview of a strategy that I'm going to use. I'm going to try it out and see how it works, and then I'm going to report back with my results, like I'm doing with the challenge now. I've been intentionally being a magician out of the lack of appreciation for creators in my field. That is so interesting, Aunt. That's so interesting. So it was like you were, because of your perception of other creators, you didn't want to associate or be associated with that personality. Is that basically what you're saying? That's really interesting. That's, man, y'all gonna make me talk about this topic sooner. So let me finish this thought, but I want to go there because that's actually really interesting. Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. Okay. So now we got to talk about it. Now we got to talk about it. Okay. I'm going to put a pin in that for now. Long story short. So, in summary, if you are looking for an outlet to get the content out of your head, I would strongly encourage you to explore going live. If you have the capability and the ability to do this on YouTube, do it. Okay. Do it. It has really been an effective tool for me in my content creation for November. So, yeah. All right. So I want to talk about this though, because this is really good. So Ant is on TikTok, and he was saying that I've been intentionally being a magician out of the lack of appreciation for creators in my field. He was saying that he didn't see the payoff. And what is so interesting about that is when you know who you are, and there are things about yourself, about your personality, about your brand personality that you don't like, or that you don't see the value in, especially when you look at others who are similar to you or who exhibit these traits, um or even on the opposite end, like maybe you see yours, but you see other people who you feel like theirs is better, right? Like that's better for them, or that's the better quality to have. Mine's not as cool as theirs, or it's not as effective. Like I don't like this part of me. It doesn't seem like it's going to get me what I want. And basically. And so seeing how even okay, even when we see and we try to step outside of our character, or we try to step outside of what is most natural to us, what our strengths are, there is not as much success there, and there's not as much fulfillment there because it's you not being you. And the thing that's so dope about some of the people that I've been watching who are the most successful, and it seems like not even just like success and in terms of accolades or finances or whatever material gain they may have, but when I see people who are so settled and secure in who they are, and they move in that, and I see the like it's like this sense of like peace that they have, and this sureness, and not even just peace, but like this sense of fulfillment that they have, being able to just really be them, and how well that works out for them. That has been something that has encouraged me to appreciate what that does for them, but then to take from that example, not how to be more like them in terms of their personality, but how can I be more like me, so that I can experience that fulfillment, so that I can experience that feeling of being in alignment, and seeing how when I'm in alignment and I'm operating in my strengths, that it brings me closer to the things that I'm working for. Yeah, that's good, and that's good. He says that I'm a very fluid person, but I'm at peace as a creator. Yes, and this I love I love to hear that, because having the language for it, having an understanding of how to exhibit it and how to move in it, it allows you to see how you can show up and you're as yourself and excel in it. Like I talked about this earlier, not even earlier, like a few months ago. And I was talking about how when you're in alignment, that there's this acceleration that you experience. And when I look at some of the people who you would consider to be overnight successes, or people who you would consider to be like people who are like, man, like it just seems like they're really like hitting like mark after mark after mark. And those people, I've noticed how in alignment and in tune with like their strengths they are. They are really moving at a place and a pace that fits them, like it looks good on them. Like I almost think about it like having on the right clothes, like having on clothes that not only express your personality, that really like tell who you are, but they also like it fits well. Like it's not too big, it's not too tight. It just like it's like wearing the right size, the right colors, the right shapes, the right brands, like everything, it is represented well. And that's what I've been noticing is that, oh, I remember what I was talking about when I said this. I was talking about the woman who is the owner of Rev Dolls, and how she ended up raising like 100, I think her goal was like $100,000. She had a Kickstarter, and she had to raise the money because she had a warehouse, and the warehouse was um in danger of not being finished. There were some other things that were going on too, but I was watching how she was talking about it with her content, and I really admired how she did it. But when I thought about it, it wasn't about a strategy for her. It was about how can I show up as authentically as possible? How can I show up as real as possible and express what it is that I need and what I'm working towards? And that's what worked for her. Like that's what made it powerful. And so, and I compared it to how like when Risa Tisa started popping off and how everybody started trying to be like Risa Tisa and do these 1,000 part series. And it's like, that's not you, fam. Like that's not you. Like it worked for her because it was her. And there's not to say there aren't things that you can like take from it and like marketing tactics, but the gist of it is that being in alignment, being you, being real, and then finding how to express that in a way that communicates that to people, like that's what's going to help you to get to where you're trying to go. So I love that you resonated with it, that the brand personalities helped you to accept and be at peace with your role as a creator. And I'm interested to see more of that creator side come out because I feel like I get like peaks of it sometimes, but I feel like we can see more. We can see more. Okay, so I'm looking at your comment now, Adrian. I've also had some personal revelations while going through this process. As a coach, I've noticed a lot that a person could I've noticed a lot that a person could block, bloom, or boost based on their level of self-acceptance. Yes. Oh, that's good, Adrian. That's good. Oh man, it's a gift and a curse being versatile. You can succeed anywhere, so you ignore your brand. Yeah. And I can relate to that. Um being able to kind of assimilate. I mean, that's like being like a chameleon, and in the process there are aspects of myself that I don't necessarily show to people or that I feel it's not really true to me, but it's what I feel is necessary to get ahead or to circumvent what I believe would not be an asset or what wouldn't be the most productive or beneficial side of myself to show. And so I've definitely fallen into that place of just kind of like, fitting in and like sliding into the mold or like you said, being what I feel like I need to be in the moment. So I can get that. I can get that. And one thing that I can say, and then I'm gonna tell y'all about this podcast because y'all really, if you are a business owner, if you are a black business owner, um, you need to listen to this episode, okay? And even if you don't own a business, but you've been thinking about it, you need to listen to this episode because it was so good. And I'm gonna tell y'all about it in a second, so don't worry. I'm gonna give y'all all the tea. But I was thinking about the power in being able to articulate who you are and being able to not only articulate it but in knowing who you are and being this person who is always curious and who's always looking to learn more about yourself and seeing how you can apply it, like being someone who's all like a lifelong learner, the ways in which you understanding who you are, how you operate, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, how that helps you to better um identify with other people and work with other people and collaborate with other people, and it helps you to see what it is that you need in order to be successful in what you're doing. And so like I think about how Like it could work if you are a part of a team at work. Even if you're not a team, you are still a part of a team because there's more than one of you working there. Or if you are running a business and at the place that you're at right now, maybe you are doing a lot of the stuff solo, right? And but you're realizing more and more that as you go and as you grow, that, oh, I need help with this. Like I need people can who can help me in my business. But it's not just about acknowledging that you need help, but it's also knowing what type of help that you need. And I'm not just talking about like the type of roles that you need or positions that you need filled, but knowing what type of personalities are going to help you to be the best version of you, so that you not only are excelling and growing and being able to flourish in the role that you're supposed to play in your business, but the person or people that are working with you in your business also are shining in their own light. And so when I was listening to this episode, I was listening to this episode of the Professional Troublemakers, which is a podcast by Lovey Ajayi. And I have been so obsessed with this podcast, y'all, because it has been, I mean, it's been so good. So like to give you just like a overview of what this past season was about. She is Lovey Ajayi. She's an entrepreneur. She's been running her own business for 10 plus years. And last year she almost went bankrupt. Like her business almost went bankrupt. Like it almost like was ran into the ground. And this is a business that has done six figures, seven figures year over year. And she had some of the biggest challenges that she has ever had as an entrepreneur in 2023. And 2024 was really the year where she was building her business back up again because of all of the hell that broke loose last year. And so she's this year, this season of the podcast, she's been going through all of the things. Yes, Steph. Yes, this podcast, y'all, it is a must listen. Like you have to listen to it. Okay, the whole season you have to listen to it. And this episode in particular, this most recent episode, you can start with that one, honestly, and then just move your way through the whole season. But she talked about she had an interview with a woman named I feel like it starts with like a C. I want to say her name was Chloe, like Chloe Hartwick, I think. I'm gonna look it up just to be certain. I don't like messing up people's names. So she had a Lovey interviewed her, and so Lovey, the guest was she is um a young woman. She's 30, so she's a year younger than me. But she's known for helping nonprofits to get to eight figures. Like she's done it with, I think at this point she's done it with at least two nonprofits where she's got them to eight figures. And so he was interviewing her and asking her about some of the things that she should look out for as a business owner herself, who is looking to not only like continue to have her business grow and to flourish, but also how to navigate being a CEO and what that looks like in managing a team. And so she asked her some really good questions. And so there's a couple of things that stood out to me that I wanted to present to y'all. So it's going to get a little deep, but I'm not going to touch on these topics too much. Mostly because I'm like kind of like digesting them myself. And so as I start to really get some answers, then I can go deeper on these topics. But when we come back, we can talk about it. Okay, so her name was Chloe Hakeem Moore. And so the name of the episode was Thrive Beyond the Hustle. I know you're gonna like that name, Steph. Thrive Beyond the Hustle. And she talked about being sustainable and purposeful as an entrepreneur. And so yeah, it is good. It is a good episode. So one of the first things that she talked about is how she was able to get these nonprofits to 8 figures. And we talked about nonprofits a little bit before, y'all, and I have said that it'd be some nonsense happening in the nonprofit world. And so the fact that she's been able to get them to such a successful place is dope, because now it's doing that much more good in the world. And so I love that. I need to get my podcast life together. Yeah. 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 I got yeah, that's going to be my next endeavor. I told y'all a little bit about that. But yeah, the podcast space, it is, I love podcasts, y'all. I just can't see myself ever not liking podcasts. And so they were talking about that. And so Lovey asked her some questions about how she's able to organize these corporations and then these nonprofits so that they are as successful as they are. And so one of the things that she talked about was how she helps people to she encourages people to understand their personality. Thank you, Mask. She encourages people to understand their personality. And so she was talking about a test that she took. I think it was the DISC assessment. And it was either the DISC assessment or something else that let her know her leadership style. And that when you know your leadership style, that helps you to better operate as a team member, even if you are not the leader of the team, knowing how you operate. And she says specifically how you operate under stress is a big indicator. Thank you. Is a big indicator of how the team needs to be organized and how it needs to maneuver. And so as she was talking, I was listening to her and I was like, man, I bet you if she took the brand personality test, she would be a part of the Citizen family, because her commitment to equality, fairness, her emphasis on really like bringing people together, and the fact that she literally works with nonprofits, I was like, I feel like she's probably a citizen. And so I'm listening to her and I'm listening to her describe it. And so one of the things that she says that has made her so successful in doing this is that she is a curious person, and she's always been curious, but she's even more curious about who she is, how she can improve, what about her works in places versus what doesn't, how she operates under stress, her leadership style, like really like learning and continuously learning about herself has helped her to show up and to be the person that is building these 8-figure nonprofits. And so that was one of the biggest things that she said. Another thing that she said is that because she's practiced listening to people and listening to them and non-judgmentally, but just like taking in the information about the person, that has also helped her not only to understand people better, but it's helped her to find the common thread in everyone so that they can come to a common ground. So yeah, it's okay, friend. It's okay. You made it. You made it. And so that she could get to a common ground. And so and I'm listening to it, and again, y'all, like I'm hearing the citizen all up and through this interview. So y'all, if you listen to it, I want y'all to tell me if you can hear it too. Like if you're listening to her talk and you feel like she also is a citizen brand personality, because I was like, oh yeah, I hear citizen all up and through this. And so she was talking about being able to find the common thread. And so another thing that leads me to is that she was talking about being able to um Oh man, y'all, it was so good. I feel like I have to do a whole recap just on that. But I'm gonna try my best to not like talk y'all ears off on this part in particular. But she was also talking about here's where it starts. So she was talking about how people should be able to disagree with one another and how we should be able to have healthy arguments, and that the one of the biggest problems that she sees in businesses is that when you are in a place where the CEO or the leaders are, the company is ego driven, you can't be honest with the leaders. And so you can't really tell them that their idea is not a good idea, or you can't tell them why this may not work at this point in time. Like, you're not able to honestly share your expertise, your opinions, your thoughts in a healthy way without the fear or the threat of losing your job, or um it impacting how much you get paid, right? And so she was saying that capitalism and meritocracy don't either, because your which I'll have to look into that more, because now I've been hearing like that word meritocracy more and more, and it's got me like a little fired up, to be honest with you. um but how it's not based off of merit. Like, a lot of the ways that people get ahead, especially particular groups of people, we know who I'm talking about here. Then, like, there isn't, hey Monica, there isn't, it's not based on merit. It's about these advantages that people have had. And y'all, oh, okay, because now my brain is going in like so many different places. I'm trying to keep it together. I'm just feeling I feel like I'm just like activated right now. So excuse me if this is not as like easy to follow as my lives have been, but this roll with me, okay? Roll with me on it. And if you can pick up what I'm saying, I'll let me know. So I was reading about, so I've been seeing some stuff about meritocracy, and how a lot of times, like, it's not even based off of how educated you are, how qualified you are. It's not about how much you like deserve to be here. It really is about your ability to be able to navigate people's egos, and being able to navigate people's feelings in a way where you are not seen as a threat, or you're not seen as the person who's constantly like button heads with people or always challenging people. And even if you look at people that that are like that, who naturally are going to have something to say, right? Or they're going to have their thoughts on things or their opinions on things, and how that is oftentimes, I don't want to say sometimes, that's oftentimes met with anger. It's met with frustration. It's met with backlash. It's met in a very defensive way. And so this is the part of the conversation where it challenged me a lot, because that conversation was kind of like on the heels of her talking to Lovey, who is the host, about how about the type of people that she needs to hire in her business so that she can thrive as a visionary and as a creative, because that's how she is, that's how she leads. And so she leads with a lot of passion. She sees like all these different possibilities, and her excitement for these different projects and these different ideas, it excites people and it makes them feel like it's all possible. But it needs to be balanced with somebody who is more pragmatic. Not there. Will we getting there? Oh, okay. Somebody who is more pragmatic, who is more, I mean, like you might call them like down to earth, or who is more practical, because they can take the ideas that you have and they can like reflect to you, okay, is this a good idea to do right now? Is this a good idea? Should you be doing this, or will this completely upend your team? Will this completely overload your team? Like, how can we take these ideas that you have and not, you know, knock them all down, but how can we look at them in a way, in a critical way, and see what can we logically pursue versus what is not right now, or what wouldn't really work, or what is actually, this is a good idea and we should take this risk, or we should take this chance, right? So like having that balance of the two is going to be is important for somebody like Lovey. And so earlier when I was saying that the podcast, it made me feel like I was seeing myself, like that's absolutely how I would describe my personality, y'all. Like it's not often that like people tell me I can't do stuff. Like it does not happen very often. Hey Kayla, happy Sunday. It does not happen often. And one of the reasons why I think is because of the excitement that I have when I talk about stuff. Like I'll just be like, you know what will be a good idea? We can do this, this, and this, and this. Or, oh yeah, and then you know what else would be a good idea? We could do this too. And so I'm because of like my excitement and like the passion that I have for my ideas, it's not often that people tell me, I don't know about that. Like it takes like a certain kind of person to be able to challenge me. And when that does happen, I have a good friend who I've talked about often. Her name is Audrey. And Audrey, she is the person who, and y'all hear me talk about like my finance coach, my financial Thea, that's her. Okay. And so when I have my meetings with Audrey, um, I call them like they're like CEO founder meetings, like for real, for real. Like it's like not even really about the money. Like the money is a part of it, but we talk about really how to integrate all the different areas of my life, and make them work together. So like we look at it from a holistic approach. But anyway, so she is one person who, and sometimes it just does, it bothers me. I'm like, oh, so you telling me I can't do this? So you telling me I done messed up again? I just done jumped the gun and just did something that I shouldn't be doing. And I love her, y'all. I love her and I appreciate her because she is so patient with me. And she understands me very well, and she knows how to still stand firm. Like she said what she said, but she knows how to um address like the things that come up for me when I'm perceiving it as rejection, or I'm perceiving it as, oh, you're trying to tell me I can't do it. Like I'm taking it personally. And so because I know that I can have like that reaction to things, it can be very defensive. And it's like, okay, like now I got to prove something to you because you're telling me I can't do it. Like you're telling me that my idea is not a good one and I just shouldn't even be doing it. And it starts to become me attacking myself and making it personal when it's not, right? Like it's not. And so, and even like that whole idea, right, Kuma? Even that whole idea is is one that um and I've definitely grown in it and I've gotten a lot better. But I still, if you are going to tell me no, it helps for me to have an understanding of why. Like if you're just gonna say, nah, I don't think so, nah, I don't see it, like that's one of the quickest ways to piss me off because like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? Like, I need some details. Okay, I need you to flesh this out some because it's not making sense. So I can get like that. I can get like that. So when I meet someone whose perspective I value and who's able to present different perspectives of things, and like in real life they're telling me no, but the way that they're doing it is almost like they're tricking me, and so I'm like not taking it as a no. So it just give me some things to think about, like, okay, so if you do this, then how's this going to work, and how's that going to work, and then where is this going, and where's this coming from, and where are you going to get this from? So being able to give me like a full view and help me to see like my blind spots, that's like the most effective way to challenge my ideas. And so when she was talking about what Lovey needed and the type of person that she needed, she was like, she needs a sparring partner. You know, like she needs somebody who's not afraid to challenge her ideas, who's not afraid to speak their piece, to say what they think, to share their perspectives honestly and openly, and for it to be, you know, a conversation, a healthy debate, or even an argument, but it being done in a way where you are being presented with different perspectives that you wouldn't be able to just come up with by yourself. And so and they were saying, they're talking about that, and then that led into how that is not the norm, like that's not common, and how even as Black people we talk about, you know, protecting our peace, and how we're like we don't want no arguments, we don't want no debates, like we don't want to hear different perspectives, or we don't want people to challenge us, and how that can like rub up against the wounds that we have around being able to like truly express ourselves, which goes into the whole conversation of meritocracy and capitalism, and being able to actually express your opinions and your perspectives in a healthy way. And so by and large, like we're not as critically, like we don't think as critically as we can, or as we're capable of. We don't enjoy having conversations with people who don't agree with us, or people who don't necessarily who don't see things the same way that we do. We don't like our perspectives to be challenged, or people to tell us no. Like we don't like that stuff. And so hearing them talk about it, that was the part that really challenged me, which is what I was getting to. That's the part that really challenged me, because it made me think about how, if as I'm growing and as I'm doing more, as my business is growing, am I developing the type of character and the type of temperament that invites other people to be able to speak to me honestly, and to be able to challenge me, and to ultimately be able to thrive in the roles that they have? Or are there areas where my ego is dictating things, where my insecurities are handling the business, or my the areas where I'm operating with a like poverty mindset or a lack mindset? Are those um are those the things that are informing my decisions? And so that was the part where I got to sit with that, y'all. Like I got to sit with that and process that, because realistically I know the answer is yes. You know, I know that there are things that are motivated by all of that stuff. And if I want to be able to grow, and if I want to be able to not only to grow for myself, but if I want to be able to have people who are working with me who are thriving as well. Like I have a desire to not only be my best self, be the best version of myself that I can be every day, getting better, improving. I have to know that that's important for me and for the people who are connected to me and working with me. So the podcast, y'all, I'm gonna let you know now. Okay. If you're somebody who is even slightly self-aware, it's gonna eat you up. Okay. It's gonna eat you up. And it's all right because you're gonna be better for it. But it's gonna eat you up. It's gonna eat you up and encourage you all at the same time. Yeah, it is a powerful tool. I call it survival driven success. I'm building my coaching business in that very thing. A lot of high achieving and successful women also dealing with this. Yeah. Yeah. And then it's so interesting the correlation between being high achieving while also feeling like an imposter, which kind of goes into like that whole meritocracy conversation, which I will leave for another time because that's a whole thing in itself. But it's just very interesting how all of those things go together and how those traits are common in people who call themselves or are literally are high achieving people. So yeah, thanks for the follow, Mr. Christopher or Miss Christopher. So, another thing that the podcast talked about, good evening. Another thing that the podcast talked about was this idea of like survival, which is, I'm glad you brought that up, Adrian. This whole idea of survival and operating from a place of being driven by being in survival mode versus being in a place where you are truly at peace, where you are truly thriving, where you can actually rest. And so the woman, Chloe, she is hosting a workshop that I gotta, after this, I gotta make sure I sign up for it. But it is about being able to balance your business, or it's mostly for business owners, so let me not make any caveats for that. Balancing entrepreneurship with life and living, having them be holistic, having it be a framework where your 40 hours is really 40 hours and it's not 40 hours plus whatever else I decide to start working on, which for me is, it's always interesting because I know that one of the biggest things is, and that's going to be taught in it, is going to be systems, systems, having structure. I know that those are that's probably going to be like a big part of it. And then also outside of that, because that pertains mostly to like the business side of things, the practical side of things. Yeah, I hear you, Kuma. I hear you. I was listening to it as I was working on something that I said I was not gonna work on. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I have to, like, I have to find balance. So yeah, it challenged a few things. It challenged a few things. That's the story of the entire podcast though, y'all. Like that entire podcast, Professional Troublemaker, every episode I listened to had me questioning myself. It's like I just left a little less sure of me. Like, wow. Wow. I'm mad at you, but also thank you at the same time. It only feels like imposter syndrome because once you get to a certain level, you have to do, wait, what? Before you get to a certain level, before you can truly become If one's success was built on being a hard worker, overachiever, fast learner, um, then a new success system is needed. I like that. I like that. I I feel that the whole idea of imposter syndrome, I've talked about this before. I don't ascribe to it, and I don't use it to describe myself anymore. Um and part of the reason why is because of that whole conversation of meritocracy, the ways that people will project and make you feel like what you're doing is not enough, or that you aren't working hard enough, or that you haven't done enough to earn what it is that you have, what you attained, or what you are striving for. um and I really don't like the fact that it dis proportionally affects Black women. That pisses me off. So there's a lot to it. And one thing that for me that I've been pondering more, because I I tend to look inward before anything else, right? Like, if there's a problem, if I feel any discomfort, if I feel any um shame, if I feel anything negative, honestly, I tend to look inward first, right? Which is not necessarily a bad thing. However, the problem with that perspective is that sometimes I don't consider the external factors and the things that are not an internal issue that needs to be fixed, but it is more of a conversation of what needs to be reformed, what needs to be changed, what needs to be torn down, what has been projected onto me. And so the when I started really looking at this whole, phrase imposter syndrome, that is what it led me to. Is like, I'm internalizing I'm internalizing a bunch of stuff that is not it's not me. Like, it's legit not me. And so that's I'm in a interesting place that, okay, that's interesting that you say that, Adrian, because I I don't feel like there's a difference between imposter syndrome and microaggression. And I think that's the conversation that I'm kind of dancing around. um which is why I don't use it. I don't use it. And I would love to have this conversation. I think that I'm at a place where I'm open to having it, but the whole idea of it, I feel like it literally is a microaggression. I feel like it literally is a microaggression. And so I would love to have that conversation, because I think that it is one of those things that we have just kind of like taken and held as this is what it is. Like, imposter syndrome is just a thing that happens and it exists. But I believe that it is actually a result of microaggression. And it has been a way for marginalized people to feel even less worthy in a system that has been designed to keep them at a particular place. So, yeah, I would love to have that conversation one day. I was supposed to have it a while ago. Um, I just never got around to setting it up. But yeah, yeah. So, um, I'm trying to make sure I didn't forget anything because I'm looking at the time. I'm already at an hour, without fail. Without fail. Um, okay. So they talked about personality, knowing your personality, knowing your leadership style, talking about being able to have healthy arguments. What else? Talking about the meritocracy and capitalism. Um, there was something else that they talked about in that podcast that I am not able to think of off the top of my head, y'all. You could see it as a microaggression against oneself. Yeah, you know what? Okay, so all right, this is what I want. This is what I want, y'all, because I would really love to be able to have this conversation from. Um, I really love to be able to have this conversation. There's a couple of conversations that I want to have. Um, the the I'm going to find the articles that I read on imposter syndrome, and I'm going to put them in the description. And when you have time, I would love for anyone who is interested on this topic and also interested in seeing both sides of the coin, what people are saying, because there is a rising conversation around this whole idea of imposter syndrome, especially particularly as it pertains to Black people, that I I feel really deserves it deserves a conversation, because when I first heard it, Jada, yeah. When I first heard it, I'm laughing at what you said, Kuma. We're gonna have a Jada podcast. I'm gonna take these, I'm gonna put these all in a podcast. Um, I already have a podcast out. It's called For Trendsetters Only. And I have not uploaded a new episode in months because I decided that I wanted to do it in like micro seasons. So the brand personalities will be my next upload. And then from there, I want to start having conversations with people, some interviews around getting unshy, around people's story. I think that the imposter syndrome conversation is a really good topic to discuss, and keeping in line with the theme. So yeah, these conversations, the ones that I'm having on YouTube, will absolutely turn into podcast episodes, and then eventually I'll have some that will be, exclusive to one platform or another. But I gotta like, you know, take steps to get to that place. But yeah, to answer your question, yes, there is a podcast. But oh, going back, when I first heard, when it was first presented to me that imposter syndrome is not a real thing, like that was literally how it was presented to me. And this also came from Audrey, y'all. Like, I don't just come up with a lot of this stuff. Like, it is inspired by people who I value their wisdom, I value their perspective, I value the experiences that they've had that I have not had, that give me different perspectives. And so I'm prefacing with that because I would love for us to approach this whole topic of imposter syndrome as if we've never heard it before. That is my hope. If I am able to curate a conversation around it with people who have that perspective, even if it still differs from mine, I am open and would love to have that conversation about it, because it only became something that I now have a different stance on because it was presented to me. And when they first said it, I was like, what are you talking about? It's not a real thing. Like, it is absolutely a thing. Like, I was like, what? I was so confused. I was like, immediately no. Immediately no. And then I decided to, instead of just immediately like rejecting it, and turning my nose up at it, I was like, you know what, let me look into what people are saying about it. Let me look at where it came from. Let me look at what it entails. Like, let me look into all of this. And even when I was looking into, because I was, and when I first did it, I was really looking into the percentages of people who are shy. I was curious to know like how many people consider themselves to be shy. And that was when I learned that I think the percentage is about like 84%. 84% of people who consider themselves shy are women. So it is a trait that is like predominantly um seen and experienced in women. And I don't know if that's because that's how it is, or if women are more likely to actually express that, or describe that as something that they feel, or describe themselves as a shy person. I don't know all of the background into it, but that's the number. Okay, that's the number. So it started with me looking into that, and then that led me to imposter syndrome. And so I say I say all of that to say that it opened my eyes to a lot of the ways in which I like devalue myself. And so maybe, like Adrian said, it is like a microaggression against oneself. But I don't believe that those ideas or those concepts are created just from me. That's the biggest challenge, and that's the reason why I have chosen not to use it to describe what I am experiencing. And I feel like, to a certain extent, it's like a cop out to say imposter syndrome. Like, it's like, no, what happened? Where did this come from? Why do I feel this way? Is this really the truth? Or is this a projection? Is this due to some experience that happened where I'm now making it, I'm now internalizing it, right? Like, it helps me to not just write it off. Like, it's like an actual like syndrome. Like, it's deeper than that to me. So it opened my eyes to a lot of that, and it's allowed me to see how, even when it comes to something as simple as um charging an appropriate amount for my work, right? Charging an appropriate amount of money for my services, and the challenge that I still have with choosing the right price, and not immediately going to, oh, how can I make this as affordable as possible? How can I make this as cheap as possible? Or how, like, I don't want to say that number, even though I know that that's the number that it needs to be. And it's not even about ego. It's about, this is the number that it needs to be, because business. That, like, those kinds of things are coming up. And so it's helping me to accurately identify what's happening, what I'm experiencing, where is this challenge coming from. So it's important to acknowledge that some of the factors are absolutely internal, and some of the factors are external. So yeah, those are those are my thoughts. It's what I'm wrestling with, but I'm gonna put everything, like I said, I'm put all the stuff that I read. I gotta go through my history and find them. Um, and then I'll share them with you, and then y'all can let me know. That I probably agree with, that not stems from the past. The root stems from some things from the past: upbringing, encounters, trauma, regrets, rejections. Yeah. Another important person that I want to bring into this conversation is, her name is Black Cherokee. Okay, it's on. Her name is Black Cherokee. And she was talking about the generational impacts of the things that our ancestors endured and experienced. Hey, Sullivan Man. Um, yeah, you would know a lot about this, Sullivan Man. I didn't know that you and Black Cherokee did lives together. That's really cool. Um, but I would love to bring her into this conversation because I just think that there's more to uncover with it than what we tend to go to on these topics. So yeah, I love Black Cherokee's lives. So yeah, y'all. All right. So that's what we're gonna do. All right. I'm gonna drop these articles. We're gonna read them. We're gonna let them marinate in our shanana. And then we're gonna reconvene and we're gonna have this conversation. Because I think that it's time to, and I just feel like I know it's gonna be a challenging conversation, but I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. And that's it, y'all. That's everything. So last thing I'm gonna say is that if y'all have not listened to the brand personalities, all the brand personalities, they is out there. Okay. They are out in the world. So make sure you go through, you figure out what your brand personalities are. Let me know what they are. Um, and how they're helping you in your brand evolution and your journey of self-discovery, all that good stuff. So, yeah. That's a cool emoji. All right. I thought I was gonna put some. I don't know why I had this up. Tomorrow, I don't know what we're gonna talk about. Oh, last thing, y'all. Last thing, 'cause this is supposed to be a whole celebration. I'm talking fast because I did not plug in. Oh, I guess I can plug it in now. Either way, it's about that time. Okay. So I want to make sure that I give some shout outs because I said that we was going to celebrate the people who have been showing up and have been helping me on this journey that I'm on to get to this 1,000 subscribers. So the first person that I want to shout out is Adrian. Okay. Adrian Calloway. She has been on, I don't even remember when your first live was, Adrian, but ever since that first live, you have consistently showed up at all the various times that I have decided to go live, which is very impressive to me. But I have enjoyed your perspective. I have enjoyed your insights. I have enjoyed you being able to see what your brand personalities are and sharing those with me. That has been such a gratifying part of this experience. And you are one of the people I think about when I press that button to go live. So shout out to Adrienne Calloway. She is a coach. When I know more details about what kind of coach, I will come back and I will shout her out appropriately. But Adrienne Calloway, y'all. So that's my first shout out for today. My second shout out is going to my big brother Kuma. Kuma, the CEO of Nerdy Bear Studios. You have not missed, friend. Okay. Like you literally have not missed a live. And that means so much to me. Kuma he has a game studio. He is a Black game developer and he is currently raising funds to get the first step of launching his demo, getting a studio space. I think that's what you said on there. Getting a studio space because I think that's a 50,000 mark. Being able to pay the marketing for the launch, the release of Hamsterdam, which is going to be the first game in his universe that is going to be launched. And so, if you love games, if you have children or maybe even adults who have been in the gaming world and you want them to be connected to someone who not only is building this thing out and paving the way for other Black kids to be able to have a career in the gaming industry, but he also has mentorship that's going to be, well, he's already been doing it, but it's going to be included in that as well. Like between the mentorship and the jobs that are going to come from Nerdy Bear Studios, it is a mission that you absolutely don't want to miss out on. So he has a GoFundMe where you can contribute to the cause. You can see everything that the money is going towards, each milestone. So make sure you go and check it out, follow him, see what he has going on, because there are a lot of success stories attached to Nerdy Bear even before the launch, the release of the first game. So that's another person that I wanted to make sure I shout out. And then my other person is Kayla, the angel. Kayla, me and Kayla are gonna go live on maybe Tuesday. We're gonna go live soon because she is launching her affirmation guide. And Kayla is one of those people where I literally can't watch her videos without smiling because it just makes me happy to listen to her. And so Kayla the Angel, she's Kayla the Angel across all platforms. Um, there's one platform where it's two E's, but I cannot remember which one it is. So you're gonna have to remind me, Kayla. But Kayla is like my top commenter on YouTube right now. Like she's like legit has like an award. I have to screenshot it one day and show you because I'm not making this up. Like there is no one who comments more than Kayla does on my content, and it makes my heart smile. So I had to make sure I shout out Kayla and shout out her affirmation guide, because if you're somebody who is used to being the light for others, but you need to be that light for yourself, you need to pour back into yourself. She is a walking affirmation. So make sure you get that affirmation guide. Unless you're just not trying to be a better version of yourself, then of course don't get it then. But if you are, you need to check out that affirmation guide. Yeah. Oh, it's TikTok. Yeah. TikTok is Kayla the Angel with two E's. Yeah. And then last but not least, I want to shout out Palm. Palm shows up. Palm, you keep like the chat alive on TikTok, because sometimes y'all, I know like you probably can't tell because I don't change up my energy when the numbers go down, but there are some times where it's like there's not a whole bunch of people on TikTok, but Palm is always there. Every time I get off, I see like all the shares and the likes that Palm has left. And it's encouraging to see someone who not only is sitting through and listening and taking in the information, but is like actively supporting and showing up. And it is one of those things that I feel like people don't acknowledge enough. Like those ones who like they show up and they show up consistently. So I got to make sure that I shout out Palm. She is a lifestyle recreator. She is actually growing her channel on YouTube. And so she's been posting her Misfit Teas, which is her branded series where it is an encouragement, where it's a moment for you to check in with yourself. It's a moment for you to, give yourself the prop that you deserve. Whatever is on her heart to share as encouragement for you, that's what Misfit Teas are about. So if that's something that you enjoy having somebody who's looking at you, smiling at you, because her smile is beautiful and it is also infectious. And hearing somebody whose heart is just so pure, and it's easy to listen to, it's easy to relate to her. So she's been growing over on YouTube. It's Palm Lifestyle Recreator. She is also relaunching her tea business. So not only will you get to get the Misfit teas from her videos, but you'll be able to purchase the teas as well. So Palm is my last shout out for today. Y'all have helped me to get to this point, and I appreciate y'all. I really do. Yes, it is such a welcome presence. It's such a encouraging presence. So yeah. Yeah. I just thought you said, oh yeah, Kayla spits. Yeah. Especially you in that red, Kayla. I was like, oh, you're just gonna eat me up real fast. That's fine. That's fine. I hope that you look back, Kayla. Okay, I'm telling your business a little bit. I'm gonna get off of this after I say this last part, but I hope that like you go back and you see how like red looks on your skin. Like I don't know how to describe it. It's like a glow, like a rosiness that like reflects off of the color red on you. But I was like, love to see it. Love to see it. Yeah, 673, y'all. 673. We are moving along. Okay. We're moving along. Oh, my last thing. My last thing. So I saw somebody else who um who has a video on YouTube that's going viral. And the thing that's so encouraging about her story is that she has been on YouTube since like 2000, right? Like early 2000s. And she's had to restart her YouTube channel 5 times. Thank you, Leon. And this time around, she decided to do it again and start it over again. And now she has a video that's going viral and she's getting more subscribers than she's had in all of the past attempts in starting her YouTube channel. And so I'm like, I keep seeing I don't know why the restart, Kuma. I have no idea. I didn't ask. I don't know her personally. I just be watching her stuff on TikTok. Um, oh, actually, her name is Nina Does the Most. That's her name. Was one of her pages. Yeah. Nina Does the Most. If you search for that, you should be able to find her, and then you can see the video that I'm talking about. But that's the second person. It's not even really the second person. I've been seeing this a couple of times, but it's another person who has been a long journey with YouTube, but their time is coming. Their time has come. And so that just means that he's in the neighborhood. Okay. He's in the neighborhood. And I just can't wait to be like, it was only a matter of time. It was only a matter of time. That that is that is how I'm seeing this whole journey. So, shout out to the 673 and also shout out to when the numbers really pop off and go crazy cuz I know it's happening. I know it's happening. It's like there's no one that can tell me it's not. This is not one of those things you can be like, "Nah, Jada, you got to be realistic." No. No. I'm not. Okay? I'm not going to be realistic cuz I know out of one of these 30 days something that I do or accumulation of the things that I do, an accumulation of the things that I do is going to lead to me seeing more results than I have seen the past however many years I have been on YouTube because I don't even know how many years it is now. And part of me doesn't want to count. I don't want to count. I will one day. I'll tell y'all for real. But just to give you like an idea, I have been like intentionally creating content since 2016. So, and I've had YouTube for all those years. So just to give you a small idea, a small peek into it. That's about how long it's been. So we're gonna get there. 10 years to master a craft. You know what? You know what? You ain't never lied. You ain't never lied. That makes me think about another topic that I will talk about on another live, but I want to talk about the time frames of success. That's what I'm gonna call it for now. That's what I'm gonna call it for now. If I come up with a better name later, then we'll change it. But just like wherever your mind goes with that, that's probably what it's gonna be about. But the timelines of success or time frame. Mm, hmm. One of those two. We're gonna play with it. But I think that'll be a good one to talk about. And then I feel like it also would be good to talk about just because, we're getting close to the end of the year and this is where we're all sitting back thinking about all the stuff we said we was gonna do versus what happened. But it's all right. We're gonna end it with a smile. Masterfully done. Thank you, friend. Thank you, friend. It's just, just a little, just a little something, something. Okay. Yeah. All right. For real, for real. Very last thing, because I have been talking for a long time. The last thing, y'all, I was working on some of the videos for the Yoni culture. Y'all. Oh my goodness. I was enjoying watching the videos like I wasn't there to record the videos. Okay? Like that's how good this series is finna be. So if I'll and actually I'll post some of it on one of these platforms and I'll let y'all see for yourself. But when these videos, when this fragrance series comes out, y'all, it's gonna be. I'm like, man, I'm really good at this. That's like the only thing I can say. I don't even feel like being humble about it. I was looking at it and I was like, dang, I did this. I mean, we did it because we worked together. I won't just say it was me, but we did this. We did this. I mean, it's going to be wild. I wouldn't be surprised if one of the videos goes viral, y'all. And I mean that like I promise you, it's like that's how good it's shaping up to be. And one thing that I want to say about it, because I'm trying to think, I was trying to do the math on the time. So, in 3 hours, that's not including the travel and stuff. So I won't add that in right now because that makes it that adds a little bit more to the story. But in 3 hours, we were able to create, I mean, at minimum, 30 videos, like 30 videos worth of content. And it is it is just naturally entertaining. Oh, well, okay. Let me tell you. Thank you, Kuma. So he was looking up Yoni. So the Yoni culture it is what you found. That's what Yoni is. Y'all, for those who don't know, that's the Yoni. But it is the products, a lot of the products are feminine products. So they're catered towards women. But the scents, some of the scents are actually unisex. And that was part of the test that we did when we were out. So that's going to be a part of the series too. Which one of the scents from the fragrance line actually work as a unisex scent? And this is the feedback that we're getting from men. So it's gonna be good. Like it's gonna be good. There's like so many different angles we got. There was this little girl that we ended up getting on camera and getting her reaction to the perfume, and she was so beautiful. I loved her. She was like an influencer in the making. I was like, girl, you got it. Like you got that star quality. Her and her little brother. So y'all, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. So I can't wait. I can't wait to show y'all. I just can't wait to show y'all. And I just makes me want to do more of them now. But that's coming out. So I was editing those. That was part of the reason why I'm on here as late as I am, because I got swept up in the video editing, and I was like, oh wait, hold up, let me let me put this down for a second, because I feel my hyper focus starting. Like I felt it setting in, and I saw myself going to a dangerous place. All right. I still needed to eat dinner. I needed to take a shower. I needed to come on live. A lot of things hadn't happened yet. So, but yeah, it's going to be coming out soon. So good. So good. So yeah, guys, things are going well. Lost in the, I mean, when I tell you I was gone, I was gone. Like, it just in the zone. So yeah, I'm back out of it. I'm not getting sucked back into it until tomorrow. I promise. Not gonna be up all night working on that. But yeah, guys, it was good. Yeah, yes. Y'all, I be getting so mad when the flow gets interrupted. I'm like, dang, I was doing something. I gotta work on that, because it's probably not a healthy response. Like, interruptions happen. It's, my response is nowhere near rational. It's nowhere near rational. It definitely, I need help. 'Cause, like, you really don't want to know what's going through my mind mid interruption. I really have to pull it together. Okay. Okay. But yeah, that's it. That's it. That's all I got. I love you guys. I hope that y'all have an amazing night. Yeah, you do. Yeah. I just it makes me feel good every time I share something about myself, and then people are like, "Yeah, me too. I get it. That's me." Like, in the club, we're all fam, okay? Not everybody else, but the people who relate to me, we're all fam, okay? If you get it, then we here. Well, yeah, you guys, it's my pleasure, Kayla. Y'all have an amazing night. I hope that y'all enjoyed your weekend. I know it wasn't long enough. I'm sorry about that. But I hope that your Monday goes well, and that it brings nothing but blessings for you. Productivity, if that's what you need, rest, if that's what you need. I just hope that it's yeah, it's a blessed Monday. That's my prayer for all of us. And I will check in and see how that is tomorrow. So I'll see y'all tomorrow. I don't know what we're talking about yet, but we'll find out. Okay. All right, y'all. Good night. Bye.